insecurities in their own self. They're not happy. It's something that's just not right. They can't figure it out. They're not trying to, so they mask it with other vices. Alcohol, drugs, gambling. They take away your self-esteem. And those that know me know that I am a fighter. I'll fight. Yeah, I used to be a fighter of the physical kind. But as I got older, I had to stop. But I knew I could not leave my children in the hands of their mother's abuser. Mentally, you are always trying to stay a step ahead. Well, I hope he's satisfied with this. I hope he liked this. I have to go along just because to keep the peace. That's not peace. That's not peace. That's not peace. That's that peace you don't want. The word don't talk about that peace nowhere. The physical effects, you could lose your hearing, your sight, damage your reproductive organs from being kicked numerous times. You could lose your teeth. You try to fix things. You try to fix people. Women try to fix men because that's what we are. We are nurturers. We try to fix it. If it's a problem, you can fix it. When I grew up, my father used to say all the time, I said, my head hurt, take 366. I don't care what was ailing you, you take 366. That was his fix. But as women, we try to fix. We can't fix a man. You can't raise a man, and men, you can't raise a woman. The abuse, you get numb. But you get to a point where no matter what he say, you start to ignore it. I had to tell him, I don't care what you say, you can't hurt my feelings no more. You can't do it. That was a start. I prayed a lot, I cried a lot. I only could cry in the shower because I knew my kids couldn't hear me. And I didn't want them to be upset seeing me cry again. And I cried when I came to church because I knew that was acceptable. I was taught you have to pick and choose your battles. This is one battle I was tired of. And change will never come. I don't care what you're going through. Change will never come until you are sick and tired. And my sick and tired may not be yours, but sure enough, you got a sick and tired. You have a sick and tired. And then you have to come up with a plan. Well, who can I talk to? Nobody. Nobody but Jesus. You talk to him all the time. I know he got tired of me calling on him. All the time. Lord, how am I take care of my kids? The final straw was when I came to church thinking we had choir rehearsal, and we didn't. I went home and my son was sitting at the table. He was in elementary school. His legs were not long enough to hit the floor. And I started a conversation. I helped my youngest daughter. She was a toddler in my arms. And for some reason, something set him off. And he smacked me so hard that my glasses flew from my dining room to my living room in front of the picture window. And I cuddled my daughter in my arms because I didn't want her to be hit. And when that was over, my nose was blooded, my lip was split. I was scared to call my brother, who was in New York, who was in Maryland, because I knew he would come, and I didn't want that. But I know I had to do something to keep my children out of the hands of their mother's abuser. And he would tell me, I used to hate to hear my mama crying when my daddy beat my mama. So I asked him, what makes you think it's okay for you to beat me? And he would look at me like a deer in the light. It's something about you that's not right. You need to figure out what it is. It's not going to work with me wanting it to work, and you got this wall up. Combined with anger, there was other vices that came into play. And I prayed and prayed, and I remember the words that a pastor preached, and I would go back and read and read and read. And some of the lettering came off the pages in the Bible. I was reading and flipping and turning and crying all at the same time, trying to find an answer when I didn't think there was any answer. And all the time, God was on his job, but I couldn't see it. I would go to sleep and couldn't sleep, and when I wake up, my babies was in the bed with me. They wouldn't talk about it, but they was there. My son suffered the most, I feel, because he helped me get delivered. As a child, he sat in my bedroom and told me, Mama, I know who my daddy is, but he cannot live with us no more. Yeah. And when he looked up at me with those big eyes, I said, it's going to be okay, baby. Mama, you don't have to buy us nothing for Christmas. Because, see, I was robbing Peter to pay Paul. A lot of young folk don't know what that is. But I was robbing Peter to pay Paul. But I made sure that Dominion Power bill was paid, because they'll put you in the dark. I would go to work at dark and come home in the dark. I didn't know how I was making. My children were able to eat. I wouldn't take them to nobody's house and ask for food because I was too proud. I didn't do that. See, this was going on in my childhood, but we didn't dare speak about it back in the day because that was grown folk business, and children were meant to be seen and not heard. Your friends' parents may have had moments. They would fight on Thursday and party on Friday. So I kept praying. And I kept telling Lord, Lord, you said you would never leave me. You promised that you would always strengthen me. You said you wouldn't leave me, but I felt so alone. I don't feel you, Lord, even though I know you there, I don't feel you. I need you to send something to help me because I can't do this anymore. I don't know what I'm going to do about my children, but I'm going to keep my children. I didn't know if I had a roof over my head the next month, but he made a way. My son would call me, Mama, somebody put a box of food on the porch. And I said, thank you. Bring it in the house. Lock that door and say thank you. I didn't know what to do, but you got to keep praying. You got to keep praying, keep talking to him, keep praying. Lord, you said I should be able to talk to the mountain and that mountain should move, but it's not moving, Lord. The song says your blood reaches to the highest mountain and the lowest valley. Well, I'm under the valley. I'm under the valley. I would say Jesus, Joseph, and Mary, and make sure the mule is tied up out back, because I could not get it together. And I said, Jesus, you got to take the crown. You got to take the reign. You got to show me what you want me to do. And he told me, I want you to go back to school. I said, what? Me? I want you to go back to school because you have some work to do. and you're not ready right now. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to go back to school. Yes, I am delivered from that abusive relationship.
Sharon, I want to ask you a question. How did it make you feel?
It made me feel worthless. I wasn't good enough. But my parents had always told me I could do anything. I felt worse. I felt worse than the dust on the bottom of your shoes. But I had to keep up that face for my children. And you grin and bear it. But you know it's becoming unbearable. And kids play all the time. Adults, young adults, I see them on campuses playing all the time, hitting, slapping, kicking, and they laughing. It's not funny, because if they hit you in play, they're gonna hit you in anger. Don't think they won't, because they will. Somebody's child is getting abused right now. Regardless of the age of that child, somebody's child is getting abused right now. And children see this. And some people feel that I'm keeping my family together in a 2-parent home with 1.5 dogs and a cat. It was me and my 3 kids. I did not want my daughter to feel this is what you're supposed to expect from a relationship. You're supposed to be submissive and get beat on. The devil is a liar. My son, you're supposed to hit on a woman. No, you're not. Keep your hands to yourself. If you have to hit on them, you don't need to be with them. That's not love. That's not love. Not love at all. The hurt is always that you remember the hurt, because it's like anything traumatic in your life, it sits in the back of your mind. But something or somebody will say something and it's right in the forefront again. And until you deal with it, it's gonna always be there. Yeah, I took some bruises. I had the bloody shirt, the bloody blouse. Yeah, I've been there, done all that, and don't want any more t-shirts. But the first thing you have to admit, there is a problem. There is a problem. They call you out your name at leisure. They call you the B word at leisure. They treat you, they disrespect you in front of you. They disrespect you, they don't care, because they feel it's okay. Most children that have been abused end up being abusers. And the craziness of it all is they look for validation.
What do you mean by validation?
They look for validation. They look for acceptance. And they feel that they'll have that. But they refuse to believe that we've already been validated by the best. You got to walk in that. You have to be bold with the word. And I would say, Jesus, you said you wouldn't leave me. Where are you? Why does it hurt so bad? When is this season going to be over? Because I can't take it. I can't take it. No more.
Why did you take it as long as you did? Why did you take it as long as you did? What made you stay?
People stay for a variety of reasons.
What made you stay?
I thought it was me at one point. I really thought it was me. And then when I found out it wasn't me, I was scared to think about what if. Because I'm a planner. I like to have stuff planned out. And I had no plan for that.
No plan to build.
For what I was supposed to do and how I was get out. All I know, I wanted out. I want it out. But I refuse to hold my children hostage in that situation another day.
You said earlier you couldn't talk to anyone but Jesus. Why not?
Because you didn't want anybody to know. Oh, I can't believe she let somebody. You know, folk will be your friend, but someone will talk about you too. They'll talk about you. And I was always told a dog that will bring a bone, he'll carry a bone. So you talking to them and they taking it somewhere else. And by that time the story done grew so big, I don't know why she with him. It has nothing to do with me being 6 foot tall. It has nothing to do with it. If I had acted the way I wanted to, my children would be in the system and I would too.
What do you mean?
Because I would have.
Don't ask that.
I've been ready, but I couldn't do that.
What is your advice on for women and for men who are in a situation where they are financially bound to this relationship? They're afraid, like you said, you were afraid. Can y'all bear with us? What would you say to a woman or a man who's bound to a relationship because of finances?
You still have to walk away because your finances don't define you. Once you admit that there is an issue and you pray that God sends help, He gonna send that help. It's not when you want it. We want everything right now. I wanted it right then. But I had to go through the process. And you have to look at the good, bad, and the ugly when you start evaluating you. And all of us got some good, bad, and a whole lot of ugly. We got a lot of junk in our trunk that we don't look at because don't nobody know, but you know it's there. And once you come to grips with what is actually there, what you're working with, then you'll be able to do some things for God. And He will take you and put you in places where you need to be. And I see it every day on my job. I conversate with people who I come in contact with, and they say, you need to do this, call me at this, call me in that. And I'm just so grateful. Why are they just trying to help me? Just because this is what He has been preparing me for. And I'm going to walk in this truth. I'm going to walk in this truth until, and if one person gets something from this today, I've done what I was sent to do.
Thank you.
Yeah, my son and his wife is here, and my sister.
Thank you so much. This is something that we can continue, and she has a lot to share. But I just wanted to introduce you to realities that many of us are afraid to face. I do understand that pride can oftentimes keep us in some hurtful situations. And about a year ago, we talked about this. And I wasn't sure because church folk are church folk, how they're going to receive this. But at some point, when you hear enough and see enough, you just get tired of just going about life as usual. Your son and wife, they are here, and your sisters here as well. Could stand up, y'all. Oh, man. And your daughter, your daughter here, she's to the right. She's a senior at Norcom. That's my baby. And so brother, you learn some things from your mom about respecting women. You learn what to do and what not to do. And you will honor your wife always. And so we groom our children to respect each other and not form a pattern of disrespect, to make sure that we reach out for help. And let me say that Jesus will help you, but there is other help. because sometimes we don't hear what Jesus is saying because we're in the midst of our own dysfunction. But not only will Jesus help, you got to find someone close. You got to find someone who will listen to your story. When people tell you keep it in the house, there are certain things you ought not keep in the house when it brings you to a point of being degraded, marginalized as a female or a male. And so I want you to know there is help. There's a toll-free hotline. If you're in immediate danger, there's a number called 911.
Amen.
I don't want to see another brother in jail. I don't want to see another woman in jail. But I think that your life is in jeopardy. You have to do what you have to do to try to stay safe. There are local numbers. I wish that you were close enough to your church and your pastor to call to get some direction. Because God doesn't want you to stay in any relationship and get beat and get hit and get cussed at. And God doesn't want that. Well, I'm just persevering. It's one thing. It's one thing to persevere, but I'm a persevere outside of your presence. Because at this moment, I can't stay here and let you work on you, and you still beating me while you're working on you. Or verbal abuse. Verbal abuse is bad. Don't just think it is bad. Brothers, we are the only one. Women face verbal abuse, economic abuse, withholding our resources from people because we want to hold on to it because, as you said earlier, if you do it right, I'll give you more. Thank you so much for listening today. As she said, if we can't do anything else but reach one of you to let you know that your value is not in who you are earthly connected to, but your value is in God. And as I always say, the Lord says, love him with your whole heart.
Yes. Yes.
You can't give men or women your whole heart. You give them what your heart produces. You can't give away the whole tree. Okay.
Yes.
Don't give a person the whole tree. Give them what the tree produces. All the apples that are hanging and falling, you got that, but the tree belongs to me just in case you walk. We still got this thing together. Class of 96, are y'all okay? I know y'all didn't expect this, that y'all sleep, y'all didn't expect this. I know y'all didn't expect this, but this is the issue that if it's not you, you know someone's facing it, or you must see the signals that someone is in a serious situation where they can't feel free enough to talk. And there are numbers. Call our church office. The National Domestic Hotline is there, 799-800-799-SAFE. You can also call locally. You can call your church for immediate help. We won't intervene. We will help move you if necessary with police escort. You don't call me to come to your house at midnight because I ain't coming by myself. I ain't coming by myself. But we'll make sure you get help. We got to stop at this moment, but she has one more comment. Quick, go ahead and say it.
The second highest group of individuals that suffer domestic violence is between the ages of 11 and 17. It starts young. That friend, that person on the other end of that phone, you didn't answer when I called. What you doing? You were supposed to call 2 minutes ago, you were late. They clocking you, wanting to know your every move at 11 years old. Yes. But resurrection is here to stay. And I refuse to see another domestic relationship go bad. I refuse. Anything that I can do to assist anyone, let the church know and they'll get in contact with me. But but you have to walk in that truth, and hiding it does not help. You got to have a courageous conversation with yourself. Reevaluate you internally, the you that you don't want nobody to see. You got to look at that. You got to dissect that.
Come on, let's give God some praise for her sharing. Thank you so much, my friend. Come on, thank you so much. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on. Come on, say, I love myself too much to stay in dysfunction. I love myself too much to be abused. I love myself too much to abuse another human being. For I am a walking, talking, breathing, living miracle. Come on, in Jesus' name. Let's give God some praise in the house. I